necessary. Okay, now we're going to launch into this story, which was collected by the Grimm brothers in Germany, but I think we can be forgiven for translating little tiny bits of it into Tamil. And then once we've finished, I'll show a whole sentence of it in Tamil. So here we go. You know, this story begins once upon a time, long, long ago, when wishing still did any good. Obviously, in today's day and age, wishing won't get you hardly anywhere.
But, right?
Yeah.
Wow, but anyway, there was this veteran.
Yeah.
And he had just gotten through with this war. And he was a really tough fighter, and he had won the war for his king. But boy, was he mad.
What was he mad about?
Tell you, he had only gotten 3 pennies for all that time he had served, and that's all they gave him after the war was over. So he decided that he was going to go to the king to get justice.
Uh-huh.
And he started on a journey.
Right.
And he's gone a little bit on down the road when he saw a strong man. And that strong man was pulling up trees like blades of grass from the ground.
Right.
And the veteran said to the strong man, "Hello, my good man. I need a man of your talent."
Well, thank you. I like to think I'm talented. I do have certain talents.
Yeah,
I'm
going to see the king, and I'm going to get justice.
Yeah.
And if we succeed, we'll be rich. What do you say?
Well,
Vanga!
Vanga! Hey, there you go.
Vanga.
Hold on. There it is.
All right, Vanga!
Vanga.
Yeah.
Diane has convinced me to give her Tamil lessons this semester, but since I'm a very beginner, it's been very difficult, so I've just started with the very essentials. So the man said, "Amma." Is that correct? Amma? Amma, yes. He said, "Sorry." Yes, he said, "Sorry," correct. He also said,
right.
Well, he said one more thing.
So, they went on down the way, and the guy said to him, "You know, if we stick together, we'll certainly make our way anywhere in the world."
Well, I forgot to say one thing. That he said, "Just a second, I've got to go off and take these trees to my mother." So he tied them up. He used one tree as a bow to tie up the others, and he took them off, and he took them to his mother, and then he came back, just like he said he would. And then the veteran said, "If we two stick together, certainly we can go anywhere in the world." So they went off walking, and what happened?
And then the first thing you know, they came to a hunter. Now the hunter was pointing his rifle at something, and the veteran asked him, "What are you pointing your rifle at, sir?"
Well, about 2 miles from here, there's a fly, and I'm aiming to shoot out the left eye of that fly. It's sitting on a branch. I'm going to shoot out its left eye.
Sir, don't waste your time.
Well,
I mean,
it's not a waste of time.
Let me go. No. Sir, I need a man of your talent.
Well, I appreciate that you say.
We are going on a real journey.
To me, this is a real journey also.
No. Sir, we're going to the king to get what he owes me.
Well,
we're going to get justice. And if we succeed, we're going to be rich. Vanga!
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Amma, yes. I'm coming.
Wow. Yeah. Well, if we 3 stick together, we'll certainly make our way anywhere in the world.
Non-Varavain, I will come. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Now, on down the road, they came to a windmills, and they were going, phew.
Yes.
Phew, phew. And the hunter was, and the veteran was.
Let me show the windmill. The windmill's here.
They saw
He was blowing.
Man.
Would you show the air coming out of my nose? I like this part. That's right. I'm blowing the windmills. That's right. And I really can't be bothered. Good luck with your mission, but I don't think I can help you.
But sir, let me tell you. Now, I'm going on a special mission.
Yep.
And I need a man of your talent.
Well,
now,
thank you. I am talented,
but we're going to the king, and we're going to get justice.
Okay, you got to say
that. And if we succeed, we'll be rich.
Okay, you got to say Vanga, the magic word. She said Vanga. Okay, non-Varavain. I will come.
All right.
Non-Varavain, I will come. Okay,
Let me
good.
tell you.
Okay.
If we four stick together, we'll certainly make our way anywhere in the world.
Okay.
So on the way they went, and first thing you know, they came to a one-legged man. Of course, he had an artificial leg too. But the veteran said to him, "Are you taking a rest, sir?"
What? I'm Well, I'm not exactly taking a rest. I have one leg and I have one artificial leg. And my artificial leg, I keep it down, unstrapped there on the ground, because when I put it on, I run faster than the birds. Run faster than the birds can fly.
Oh, we need a man of your talent.
Well, thank you. I'm glad
Why
that you...
don't you come with us on a fantastic journey to see the king? If we succeed, we're all going to be rich and we're going to get justice.
Justice?
Vanga!
Okay. Okay. Forgive me for not getting the Vanga up, but okay. Aman nan varuvein, Seri.
All right. So if we five stick together, we'll certainly make our way anywhere in the world. And on the road down they went, and first thing you know, they came to a man with a cap at an extreme angle, and the veteran said, "Sir, where are your manners?
Well,
you need to have your cap the right way."
It's not really a matter of bad manners, and I don't think you have any right to come to my neck of the woods and tell me what the right way and the wrong way is. I do it this way because if I put the hat on straight, a terrible frost would come in and freeze everybody.
Oh, sir, we need a man of your talent.
That's a little bit better.
If you come with us,
yes,
we're going to the king, and we're going to go on a great journey.
Yes.
And if we succeed, we'll all be rich.
We'll be rich.
Vanga.
Vanga. Amma, yes, I'm coming.
Yes.
That's
all
now
right.
we're 6.
If we stick together, we'll certainly make our way anywhere in the world.
Okay.
So they went on the journey, and the first thing you know, they came to the king's palace.
Mm-hmm. And there, the herald said, "You may run in a race with the princess for half the kingdom, but if you lose, we're going to cut off your head." And if you look around, you'll notice that all over the place there are poles with heads on them. So,
sir.
Yep.
Sir,
Yep.
It's no problem.
No problem?
I'll do it for you. Yes,
yeah.
yes. I'll do it for you, but you have to
here.
let this man with one leg run, okay?
Yeah, you're going to have a man with one leg run against the princess who's the fastest runner in the land. Okay, but you understand, if he loses, you're going to lose your head, and your friend is going to lose his head also.
No problem.
No problem.
Sir.
Very good.
No problem.
Okay, good.
Got it under control.
Okay, excellent. So this is how the race worked. They had to go about 5 miles to a well, get some water in a bucket, and come back. So the race started. The one-legged man got off to a tremendous start. And he got the water. He was halfway back. Then what happened?
Well, he started yawning. I'm so tired. I'm so ahead.
Don't do it too much. They're falling asleep in the audience.
Yeah, right. Well, he got under a tree, and he saw the skull of a horse, and so he said, well, I'll just sleep on the skull of the horse.
He put his head on top of the skull.
So I won't get too comfortable, you know, and so he went to
sleep.
sleep.
Can you believe this? In the middle of the biggest race of his life depends on it, he goes to sleep. It's too bizarre to believe.
You know?
Okay, but that's somehow... I've had the same experience myself. Sometimes I have a paper due, and the next morning, and I have to go to sleep for a few hours. It doesn't make any sense at all. Fortunately, the hunter was on top of the hill here, and he saw the whole thing. Because what happened was the princess got her water. She was on her way back. She saw him sleeping there. Not only she didn't wake him up, but she dumped out his water. Please come in. We're in the middle of a race. And the princess is just dumped out his water, and she's heading towards the finish line. Well, finally, the hunter saw the situation, and he aimed his gun, and he shot out the horse's skull out from under. Thank you for the sound effect. And the runner jumped to his feet, he had to get more water. He came back, and believe it or not, he beat her by a nose.
By a nose, I tell you.
So the 5 gathered around him and celebrated. But the king, yay! Hey, but the king was not happy, and neither was the princess. So they plotted to kill the 6 men. And the way they decided to do it, he said, my daughter, yes, they were both nasty, male and female. This proves that women are not any nicer than men. He said, my daughter, doesn't prove it, but my daughter, I'm going to invite them into the iron oven room, and they'll burn to death there. So that's what he did. He invited them in, and as soon as they came into the room, it was a beautiful feast. There was food all over the table, but the strong man noticed that there were bars on the windows, and the floors were made of...
And he wasn't too pleased about that. In fact, none of them were too pleased about it, but, you know, the veteran said, it's a feast, let's eat.
The veteran said, no matter what comes up, we'll be able to deal with it after we eat. Good.
Yeah. So they all sat down.
Right, and the king, meanwhile,
had... feast.
The king, meanwhile, had locked the door from the outside, and he'd gone to the room underneath where he'd instructed the fellow working there to start the fire, because there was a furnace down there. That's right. And so the room got hotter and hotter, and the men were very pleased because the food was hot. But then they realized that their seats were hot, and the floor was hot, the entire room was hot.
And the walls were hot, and it was terrible.
That's
and they realized they had to do something, but the man with the cap on the side...
Yes,
said,
the very one who you insulted before, who said he was a fashion victim.
He said, don't worry, I'll fix everything. So he adjusted his cap, and there was cold.
The whole room cooled down,
the food
and
started sticking to the plate.
That's right. So 2 hours later, the king came back. He saw them all talking. They was relaxed, and he went back to his daughter. He said, "Come on, we just got to buy these people out. We got to get them out of town." So, so he said to the veteran, "Listen, you can take away as big a sack of treasure as you can carry."
I tell you what, I'll make you a deal.
Yep.
I'll carry a sack, one sack, for one of our men will carry the sack.
Yep.
But you have to give me a week.
You can have a week. But
Okay,
if you,
great.
Yep, but I'm going to fill it up, and if you can't carry it, you're all going to lose your heads.
No problem.
No problem.
So the
Excellent.
veteran got the finest tailors in all the land to sew up the big sack. It was big enough to put a whole house in it, if you can believe it. And so he brought it back after a week, and he said, "Okay, now fill it up."
And the king brought lots of treasure, but it didn't even nearly begin to fill it up. And the strong man lifted it over his back, said, "That's nothing, fill it up some more." Finally, they had to bring 17,000, believe it or not, this is written down, 17,000 wagon loads full of treasure. And not only put the treasure in, but the wagons and the horses too, the oxen also. And still it was only halfway up, but you know, sometimes, Diane, you got to close up the sack and take off even before it's filled.
I tell you,
So that's what they
gotta
did.
do it.
They filled up. So the 6 of them were marching off with their treasure, but the king, he just couldn't let it be. So he sent his soldiers out, and the cavalry said, "Put down your treasure. You are surrounded."
And the veteran said, and the blower said, especially.
Yeah.
Ha, 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 ha. They all laughed at him, and the blower said, "Sir, you better not follow us, or else I'll blow you sky high."
Oh yeah, go ahead, blow me sky high. Up, up, up. Get it? Sky high. She did it.
So I
Okay,
blew 'em
please let me
sky
down.
high.
Let me down.
All right, I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. I'll let you down if you promise to leave us alone and let us go with the treasure.
Yeah,
And
it's a
tell the
deal.
king
It's a
to leave
deal.
us
I'll
alone.
go back and tell the king to leave you alone. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
you can
Okay.
sit down.
So the soldiers went back and told the king, and of course the king said, "All right, let's take the loss." And so the 6 men went off, and what did they do?
They went off, and along the way, they each met a beautiful woman,
Yep.
and along the way, they decided they were going to form their own village. So they had a marriage in their new village,
Right.
because they got a priest to get them married on the same day.
And they lived happily ever after.
They formed a new village, and they lived happily ever
They
after.
formed a
Yes,
new
you
village.
said it.
How do you like that? Okay.
The 6-men village.
A 6-men village, because they said if we 2 stay together,
We'll certainly make our way.
we'll make our way anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world.
And
And they did.
first it was 2, but then it was 3. Whoop. The problem is if I miniaturize it, it won't be quite as clear. But there's 3, and then 4 came, and then 5 came, and where's the number 6? There's number 6. Very good. And the entire sentence, if I just show you here, Nam irandu, please help me, irandu, is that correct? Nam irandu, peiram, andraha, this is moved over a little bit, irandal. And that means if we 4 people stick together, or however many it is, if we stick together, Nitya Yamaha, If I can make it a little. That's the best we can get. Nityamaha. Inda, even I know that means this. Inda. Ulahatil. Il is the case ending to make it in the world. So it's Ulahatil is in the world. Engeyum is anywhere. And Pohalam is that Poha is the infinitive form of go. Here, let me close up again. Poha is the infinitive form of go, and but if we end we put lam on there, it's conditional. It's the possibility. Possibility. Okay, so there we have it, and that ends the story, and the Tamil lesson, and the demonstration.